Hello and welcome back to Business Communication with Barry. We're in week 11 already. Wow, time is flying. Doing unit 11 today. Cultures. Let me share my screen with you so you can see it. And again, if you'll remember, we are doing 2 videos per week from now until the end of the semester. Each week you will have 2 online discussions to do, as well as 1 quiz. So remember that everything is due by Friday each week. Okay, the online discussions and the quiz should be done by Friday of each week. This right now is video 1 for week 11, and we're doing unit 11, cultures. Nowadays, business is very global. So it is important to learn about other cultures and know how people do things in different cultures so that we can be ready for that and we can understand other people and better communicate with other people no matter what culture they are from. So in this video, we'll go through the textbook, Unit 11. I'll explain some things and then give you a homework assignment for your online discussion. And then after that, you can move on to video 2. All right, so for the part A here, you're imagining you're visiting a country for the first time and you are on a business trip. So you've got some vocabulary words in this box on the left over here, and you just need to figure out where they go in each of these sentences. Number 1's been done for you, popular sport. Number 2, always take blank in US dollars. Always take, well, if it's about US dollars, that is related to what? Money, right? So that would be money. We'll put money in there. And then you can go ahead and do the rest of those. I don't think there are any new words here. I think you should know most of those, so you should be okay with that. And then for part B, look again at all of these tips and which ones do you think are very useful, or not useful at all. For part C, think about tips for visitors to your country, whether you are from Korea, Mongolia, Nepal. If I were visiting your country on business, what advice, what tips would you give me? And just make a short list with some of those tips. Okay, so different countries have different cultures, of course, but companies also have unique cultures. Different companies do things in different ways, and when you join a company, you become a member of that company's culture. And so you're going to see some things here related to clothes, what people wear at work, how they look at time, how they look at time off, how they report things, how they keep track of things, what kind of meetings they have, and names, how they use names. For example, in Korea, you don't really use first names much at all. You would instead call the person maybe by their last name or by their title, right? But very rarely first name. I've actually met people who forgot what their boss's first name is because they never use it. Okay. So go ahead and try to figure out which words work here. And one in each section. So this is a section, right? That's one section. This is another section. One of the words will not be used. So let's look at this one. In many banks, the staff can't wear what they like. They have to wear, well, if they can't wear what they like, that means they don't have a choice. So they would have to wear uniforms. And that's what we would do for that one, uniforms. And then weekend clothes would just not be used. So in each section, that's section 1, this is section 2. You're going to use 2 of them and X out one of them that does not fit. Okay, for part B here, think about the type of place, business, or organization you would like to work for. What would be important for you? Would you want to wear uniforms? Some people might like that because then they don't have to buy clothes and they don't have to think about what to wear every day. What about meetings? Some people like a lot of meetings, others hate them. Casual Fridays, that's where everyone dresses comfortably on Friday, maybe khaki pants or jeans and a polo shirt instead of a suit and tie. And finally, flexible hours, a place where would you like to work for a company where you can come in late and stay late sometimes, or come in early and leave early, and you have flexible hours so that you can balance your work and your life better. In my case, I would prefer for sure flexible hours. That would be my number one. If we were going to rate, you could actually rank these. So I would say number 1, that would be for me. I don't like formal meetings at all, and I would really not like to wear a uniform. Casual Fridays would be nice. So I would take this as number 1 and this number 2. Okay. Here's some more vocabulary. So to empower employees, to give you, think about the power, this is a good word here, to give you the power to do something, to make you feel like you can make changes in your company and do things in your company. Supports innovation, right? Company that lets you try new things. Company that is customer focused, that really puts a lot of attention on the customer. Rewards good experience. That's a company that if you do a good job, you'll get a bonus or a promotion or some other recognition. And encourages trust at all levels. So everything they do is very clear so that everyone can trust each other. Okay, so after you match those up, we move down here to cultural mistakes. This is a listening exercise, so grab that listening file from the file section of Canvas, 2.37. Listen to that and then answer these questions, and then we can do the same for B and C and D. You'll hear some people talking about making cultural mistakes. And then look at part E down here. Think about this. Do you think it's easy to make mistakes in other cultures? What other examples do you know? Many of you have traveled abroad to a different country. So think about a time when maybe you made a mistake, maybe you didn't know something and you made a mistake. Or maybe you saw someone in Korea from a different country, maybe it was me, make a mistake in that culture. If you don't have any of your own examples from your own life, maybe you can think of something you read in a book or saw in a movie where someone made a cultural mistake, and come up with a couple of examples. Okay, language focus 1. So this is a should and shouldn't. This is telling people what is okay to do and what is not okay to do. So that works very nicely with this topic. So for example, we should wear formal clothes to the dinner. So maybe it's a company dinner. You should wear formal clothes like a suit. That's something you ought to do, you should do. You shouldn't be late for meetings. Yes, I agree. You should not be late for meetings. You should be on time. You should be punctual. And then you can put I think or I don't think in front of that to give your own opinion about something. So I think you should do this. I think you should go on a training course. I don't think you should interrupt her. I don't think you should interrupt her. I don't think you should interrupt your boss, for example. So that person is saying, it's a good idea not to interrupt her. Okay, very useful there. If we move down to part A, we've got some phrases in this box. And you're going to use should or shouldn't to add information to each of these sentences. So number one, our online business is bad. Okay, we have an online business and it's not working very well. So we look at our examples, speak to our boss, no. Expensive computer system, maybe, but let's see if there's something better. Be late, no, that doesn't fit. Oh, website, yeah, that would work because we're talking about online business. So develop a better website. If our business is bad, we should develop a better site. What about number two? Our team is working too many hours. Too many hours. What could we do? Well, be late, that doesn't fit. Computer system won't help that. Stay 3 days, that doesn't make sense. Well, we should speak to our boss. We could talk to our boss and tell him or her we're working too much and that we need to cut back on our hours. So that one would go right here. And then you can do 3, 4, and 5 on your own. Here's some more practice with should or shouldn't, or I don't think. You want to give the opposite advice. Opposite advice here. So I think he should. No, I don't think he should. This one, you don't have a partner, so instead, just write out the questions that you would ask here. A and B for each one. Okay. Now we have a reading. I'll read this with you, and then you can go through and answer the questions on your own. The pre-reading activity here. Do you agree or disagree with these statements? Number one, all meetings should have fixed start and ending times. So every meeting, you should know exactly when it's going to start and when it's going to end, and it should follow exactly those 2 times. Number 2, being on time is equally important in all situations. So you should always be on time no matter what. Number 3, it's more important to learn about the culture of the country than to learn the language. So if you're going to another country, would you rather know a lot about the culture or would you rather be fluent in the language? What do you think? Number 4, there's no point having a detailed plan before starting a project because things always change. All right, so let's check out this real life example of a cultural mistake, some cultural differences. And I will explain new vocabulary as those things come up. It is 9:05 a.m. and a group of Chinese businessmen are outside a hotel conference room in Sao Paulo waiting for their Brazilian hosts. So we've got Chinese business people in Brazil. The seminar was scheduled to start 5 minutes ago, but like many meetings in Brazil, it did not start on time. The Brazilians arrive, complaining loudly about the morning's traffic, and go immediately to breakfast. Cultural differences between the 2 countries become clear. So the Chinese businessmen are on time, and the Brazilians are late. In 2009, China replaced the US as Brazil's biggest trading partner. As a result, Brazilian companies are keen to understand They want to understand the Chinese better and find the best way to do business together. For companies already working with China, getting to know the culture is a priority, is something they know they need to do. They're trying hard. At Chinbra, Sao Paulo's biggest Chinese language school, students who mainly work in the import business take evening classes in Mandarin. About half the lesson is about cultural issues. They ask questions such as, should I give my business card with two hands? And what presents should I give? Something Brazilian? Some business deals fail because of small things like a misunderstood email. In addition to language problems, there is also a lack of cultural understanding between the two countries, says Charles Tang, president of the Brazil-China Chamber of Commerce. One big issue is timing. For successful deals with the Chinese, it is important to be on time for meetings and to meet deadlines. So the Chinese expect you to be punctual and meet deadlines. Another issue is planning. In Brazil, because of high inflation during the 1980s and early 1990s and many failed plans, long-term planning was not a priority. Today, many companies still prefer to plan as they go along and fix problems when they happen. The Chinese are completely different. They like to plan everything in advance and in detail. So these two cultures are opposites in many ways, especially when it comes to time and how they value time and planning. Okay, so you'll go through and decide if these are true or false. And if it's false, correct it. Make it true. Go ahead and answer part D and part E. So you're looking for words from the article that have the same meaning. And it gives you a hint here about what paragraph it's in. Let's do this one together. Very important and needing attention, and it's in paragraph 3. So we'll go to paragraph 3 here. So we're looking at this one. Oh, here we go. For companies already working with China, getting to know the culture is a priority. Something's a priority. It's very important and needs attention. Okay. The other grammar point for today is could and would. And these are for making a polite request. Right? If I say, can I use your phone? That's a little bit too direct. And you can make that softer, more polite by just changing can to could. Could I use your phone, please? Could you send me a copy, please? And then when you make an offer, you can use would. Would you like this? Would you like some more coffee? Listen to these two. Do you want some more coffee? Would you like some more coffee? Which one sounds nicer? Of course, the would you like some more coffee. It's less direct and just more pleasant when you talk that way. Okay. For part A here, you just need to decide who was talking. Who was asking this question? Was it a flight attendant on the plane or was it a passenger? So think about what types of things a flight attendant might ask a passenger and what types of things a passenger might need and ask a flight attendant for. And then decide here which ones are offers and which ones are requests. Okay, same thing here. Now you've moved from a plane to a hotel, and you're going to use these verbs to make a polite request. So in this case, you are a guest at the hotel. You're, for example, checking in, and you're going to ask the clerk these questions to get this information. So remember, you want to be polite. So you're going to use a lot of could. Okay, here's listening. Go ahead and do that from the files section. Let's see, more listening. Okay, the role play you don't need to do this week. Pay attention to the useful language here, though, for suggesting action, opening. So when you're having a meeting, or when you're having a meeting with someone. Okay, homework, online discussion for this unit. There are two things for you to do, and they're not exactly in order, so please listen carefully. So the background here, Katie is a new general manager in an overseas branch, and she's working in a new culture, and she wants to bring some ideas from the headquarters where she was to this new branch. And as we know, when there are different countries, you have different cultures, but also even in an office, you might have a different office culture. So she's working in this kind of situation. So here you see all the things that Katie wants to do. And this is how the culture is now. Okay. So read through those, make sure you understand what's going on here. And so for number one, this is actually what I want you to do first when you answer this in your online discussion. Number one, listen to this and use this talk between Katie and Stuart to answer these three questions. Okay, so Kate is telling Stuart what she thinks and what problems there are and what she wants to do at the meeting. So when you open your online discussion, just type number one and then 1, 2, 3 for these three questions. And answer those based on this listening activity. So that's number one. And then for number two, you're going to go up here and use this chart and write like a paragraph about what Kate wants and why she wants that. So don't just copy both sides here. That's not enough. You should at least add one sentence to this. So for example, I might write, okay, right now, the overseas branch, they all use the last names or family names. Okay, so that's kind of like Korea, right? But Kate wants everyone to use first names and then give a reason why. Why might she want that? For example, she thinks people will feel closer if they use first names, right? And that would be enough for this part. For this part. And then you'd be done. So you need to address both parts and then give a little more information or your own thoughts about why. Right now, everyone in the overseas branch, they always dress formally, but Kate wants them to dress casually. And why? Why do you think she wants to do that? What are some reasons that she might want to do that? Maybe to make people feel more comfortable, or so you have your own ideas for why. If you really can't think of anything, maybe do some research. Look up on Google and say, for example, like benefits of casual dress at work, or benefits of flexible hours at work, or benefits of short meetings, and you'll get some ideas online. So remember, it's not enough to just give two sentences. You need to summarize what the culture is now, what Katie wants, and then also give some more information, your own opinion about why. Okay, so the online discussion will have two parts. Number one here, answering these questions from the listening. Number two here, summarizing this table and adding your own information. Okay, so that covers everything for video one. And make sure you comment underneath this video. And in your comment for today, let's do let's do this one, part C. This will be um, your comment, your YouTube comments. Add a tip for a visitor to your country. YouTube. And you can use, of course, should or shouldn't, right? Should or shouldn't. So I'm American. If someone was going to be visiting America, I would say, you should be on time, right? Americans are always on time or like to be on time. So it's not okay to be late. So my comment might be, you should always be on time, or you shouldn't be late for meetings. Okay, so give a tip using should or shouldn't related to your own culture. Should or shouldn't. And that will be your comment under the video on YouTube. That will be your attendance for this lesson. All right, I'll leave it there for now, and I'll see you again soon in video 2. Hope you enjoyed this class, and I'm looking forward to seeing your reading your online discussion and your comments about how I should behave when I visit your cultures. As always, if you have any questions, please send me a message on Kakao, and I will get back to you soon. See you next time.